respected physical education teacher, and my dear students. Myself Praveen Mishra, PGT Physical Education teacher. Today topic of session is Unit 10 is training in sports. This is the last chapter of in 12th class. Now, overview of session is concept of talent identification and talent development in sports. Second is introduction to sports training cycles, micro, meso cycle and macro cycle. And last topic is training types and methods to development of strength. We'll discuss one by one. Now first is talent identification and their meanings. What do you mean by talent identification? Talent identification क्या है? Talent identification is as identified any type of abilities, any type of aptitudes in one direction above their normal average. Thus someone have a talent जो कि उनके talents को identify करना and something without any tiring hearts. Now talent identification also can be defined as a process by which the children are encouraged to participate in any type of sports and they are mostly likely to succeed and based on the selected on certain parameters. Now according to the illustration of their diagrams, the figure below illustration, the various stages comparison on long-term talent identification in different identification systems in different games and sports. Now talent identification on the basis of three different parameters are there. First is 10 to 12 years old in schools or club their competitions. Selections in various test forms, field test and related to their journal trainings in schools and their clubs in various clubs. And next is 13 to 16-year-olds physical education games and sports. Might be they are going from clubs according to their competitions. Selections on the basis of their field test, evaluation of their according to their improvements, and after that club training programs can be developed. Now sometimes they are going for recreational sports, different type of competitions. After that their final selection in the 13 to 16 years on the basis of old lab test and their different type of field test. According to their they can develop their sports, elite sports training program, and at last they are going for their different competitions according to their different sports programs parameters. Now talent identification and development and their different stages. There are 5 different type of their. First is talent deductions, talent identification, talent development, talent selections, and last talent transfer. We'll discuss one by one. Now talent deduction क्या होता है? जहाँ पर this can be discovered potential according to their performers who are not currently involved in sports in their different type of questions. Now talent identification according to recognition participation with their potential at early age to become their elite athletes performers in their future stages. Talent developments क्या होते हैं? They provide their athletes with a suitable learning environments to accelerate or realization there according to their potentiality. Talent selections क्या होते हैं? It is an ongoing process of the identified the individuals at various stages of development who demonstrate the prerequisite performance in different levels. Talent transfers क्या होते हैं? Focus on transfers from one sports to other sports and where there are more significant opportunities can be succeed in different type of competitions. Now importance of talent identification. These are the endless form. First is according to importance, discover a different type of great talents, recognition of hidden talents, छुपे हुए talents हैं. By recognitions, the talents at early stages, the children can show their skills at their extreme levels. Talent identification helps in finding a significant assist for the country. Now components of talent identifications. There are the main components of talent identification can divided into a following categories, and that categories are physiological attributes, physical attributes, psychological attributes, technical and tactical attributes on the basis of results, and sometimes intangibles. Now next is training cycles according to their micro, meso and macro cycles are there. When we are going from different type of training plans or their formats according to plans are long-term plans, Olympic plans, sometimes annual plans, sometimes session-based plans, and later on day-wise plan are there. All the projects are unified training basis and they pursued on several years, identified their main lines of the developments. Training content is more concrete and specific and scientific basis. In a plan of shorter duration, training plans are there. Now next is microcycles. Microcycles में क्या होता है? Microcycles, these are the cycles which are related on the basis of days wise, and their days are 3 to 10 days. It is the shortest cycles of the trainings are there. Now these are the microcycles provide the active recoveries and relaxations to the sports person to prepare him a training in the next microcycles. Even 5 to 10 days is not adequate to achieve their training task. It forms an integral part of entire training process. One of examples of there, the three proportions of high and medium or low load are adopted in microcycles. That just like 1:1 means high load followed by a day of medium load. 2:1. Now every 2 days it is a high load and followed by a medium load. Now 3:1, there are the 3 days high load and followed by the medium or low load in a day. Next is mesocycle on the basis of week-wise training class. 3 to 6 days means minimum 6 weeks means 1.5 month. On the basis of specific training plans, our tasks are there, and these are the tasks are learning and acquiring the mastery of skills, maintenance and stabilization of their performance, the development of physical motor fitness of their components, preparation for specific competition, attainment of optimum level of performance, preparation for next mesocycle, and provided by the recovery and proper relaxations. Next is microcycle. Longest training programs are there, annual plans or year-based training plans are there, and related to 3 to 12 months. And the purpose of microcycles is able to sports performance to improve the performance capacity to put an optimum performance at a specific time and during that competitions. A microcycle comprises several mesocycle means month-wise trainings, and the last mesocycles ensure the recovery and realization for a smooth transition to the following microcycles. Now next part of session is strength. Strength क्या है? हरदयाल सिंह ने, according to हरदयाल सिंह, strength is ability to overcome resistance or act against resistance. Now according to Barrow and Maggie, the strength is the capacity of the whole body or any of its part to exert some forces. Now there are the two type of strength are there, static and dynamic type of strength. We'll discuss one by one. Now according to dynamic strength, there are the three different parts are there: explosive strength, strength endurance, and last is maximum strength. Now static strength, it is also called as isometric type of strength. It is ability of muscles to act against resistance. Static strength can be measured by the dynamometers. This type of strength is not easily seen because there is static strength is there. It's not usually applied in the sports, and the phases is basically used in weightlifting. The examples are planks or yoga asanas. Many are there, but I was defined only 2. Now next is dynamic strength. Dynamic strength, it is also known as isotonic strength, where the muscles range can be increased and decreased. Means it can be sometimes they are relaxed and sometimes they are contraction, and these are formed as dynamic strength. It is recognized by the rhythmic muscular contraction. It changes in muscular length using the relatively small forces. An example are push-ups and full squats. Now the type of strength and that type of is dynamic strength, which are discussed. First is maximum strength. The definition of maximum strength is to overcome the resistance in a single contraction or the muscular contraction. The muscular strength means the exert of force against the resistance in maximum effort. Means एक बार में इनको maximum effort करना है. A maximum strength overcome the resistance is maximum stimulus intensity in a single muscular contraction. Example are long jump, shot put, javelin throw, weightlifting, discus throw, etc. Next is explosive strength. It is overcome resistance, act against resistance as fast as possible. It is a combination of speed and strength. Now the explosive strength are motor components, motor movements, and is a form of dynamic strength. Explosive strength is a particular to nature of movements, and it is a greatly influenced by the motor coordination, and that are inter and intramuscular coordinations are there. Example are volleyball spikings, jump in a basketball, and the sprinting events, and many more are there. And last type of dynamic strength is there, the strength endurance. The strength endurance overcome resistance under the fatigue or as far as long possible. Now some explosive strength endurance is a product of two motor abilities, that is strength and endurance. Muscles can get a overcome resistance or as a medium intensity stimulus as long as possible. Now strength endurance can form of a static or dynamic strength depending upon whether the movements is isometric, that is static, or isotonic, that is active. Now example are athletics, running, swimming, distance cycling, and etc. Now methods development strength. There are three different methods development strength are there. First is isometric, second is isotonic, and third is isokinetic. We'll discuss one by one. Now first isometric strength are there. Isometric exercise, there are not visual as there are no direct movements are there. Therefore isometric exercise cannot be observed. These exercises are involved muscles carrying out tension against other group of muscles. There are no changes in the muscle length when such exercises are done. Hence, they are called as isometric. These exercises need less time, equipments, and can be performed practically where, anywhere, and everywhere. Now, moreover, the isometric exercise can prove to be a greater value for maintaining the strength in case of sometime injuries. These exercises performed regularly may result in a change in muscle size and muscle shape, and that are pushing that wall and plank type of exercises are there. Second form of method is isotonic exercise. These exercises in the movement can be seen. The isometric exercises result is tone muscles and increase their muscle length. These exercises hold much importance when it comes to the sports. These methods are considered to be best methods to development of their strength. An example of isometric exercise: running, jumping on the spot, weight training exercise, and the different form of calisthenic form of exercise are there. Now the last methods is isokinetic exercises. The methods introduced by J.J. Perrin in 1968, and this type of particular exercise are muscular contraction and is called as isokinetic contractions. Now these exercises are performed and specially designed by the instruments. These isokinetic contractions, the muscles apply the maximum forces throughout the range of motion around the joints. Whereas isotonic contraction, the pressure is applied at a particular group of muscles or particular angle of the muscles. These are usually isokinetic contraction in a minimum. Hence the contribution of isokinetic contraction is developing the strength is yet to be scientifically proved. Example is rowing and swimming. Now the references which I have taken in this particular curriculum 24-25 and the documents which are showing to you, that is in CBSE handbooks and easily available in CBSE site. Thank you for watching me.